All right, hey, so what's up? I'm Jeremy at the brewery. Today we're gonna talk about and taste So Happens It's Tuesday. So Happens It's Tuesday is a bourbon barrel-aged stout that we have been making for years and years, and it's something that we've had in distro for a number of years as well. It's one of the few bourbon barrel-aged, high gravity stouts that you'll find out there in distribution. We do it in both bottles and cans, so clap your hands. Here's the deal, So Happens It's Tuesday. It's one of those beers that I remember most about the brewery from before I worked here. It was one of those beers that you would find at a bar, not every bar, only special bars, but you'd find this beer and it was just over the top as far as bourbon barrel flavor and weight really. Not necessarily body, but this beer has weight, at 14% ABV. I think this year we're a little bit higher at 15.3. It's a monster of a beer, but it is subtle and complex. I can tell you this year's batch of this beer was about 150 individual bourbon barrels blended. And having tasted all of those barrels, I could tell you that the blend is pretty special. It's amazing the way all the different unique barrel character comes together in the final product. The blend itself always seems to be a little bit better than any of the individual barrels are.
So my name is Sarah Lynch, and I am the California sales manager for the brewery in Offshoot. And I've been with the company for about 4 months now. All right, so we're drinking So Happens It's Tuesday, and by we, I mean me. It is a bourbon barrel-aged stout. Ooh, whoops. You definitely get a lot of that barrel, woody character. Oh yeah, you can get a lot of the wood for sure on that. But it almost has like a cherry-like component, which I assume is from the wood, but 15.3%, I would say it's very easy drinking for such a hard hitter. Yeah, you can get drunk off of this.
So big notes on this beer this year. Aromatically, like a ton of tobacco and leather, a little bit of that allspice character. And then of course bourbon, lots of bourbon. It's dark, chocolatey, roasty. It's got a good carbonation and then a really nice head that lasts and seems to linger on this beer. But really just a fantastic beer, Like I don't know who would say that it wasn't.
If I was going to do a pairing with this beer, I would do a tiramisu, and I would probably use this in the tiramisu. Soak the little lady fingers in it. I feel like this would be the perfect flavor because it kind of has a little coffee thing going on. Or I would braise a brisket. I think that would be really great, and barbecue it. Those flavors would be really great on the meat too. What
I think about this beer is this sounds really silly, but it is because this is one of those beers in distro that's very rare. There's not a lot of these big bourbon barrel-aged stouts that fill a shelf space the way this beer does for the brewery. But when you're out there against all those beers, this is a monster, But really this is an entry-level beer to a lot of the styles of beer that the brewery does. Big barrel character, a good weight of alcohol, having a high ABV, and then being, a beer that's driven by finesse and not overly sweet. It's not adjuncted with anything. It just delivers barrel character and stout making. When you look at the brewery's portfolio of beers you can get as a member here, or even in a direct-to-consumer fashion, or when you come into the tasting room, this beer really is that entry-level beer. It shows you a little bit of what the brewery's about. The brewery's about big, bold flavors, and sometimes those flavors can come just from the brewing process and the barrel. It doesn't have to be something added to the beer. So I think So Happens It's Tuesday kind of fits that. And then if you know the brewery and you know our beers and you know them well, you know that we use this as a base beer for a lot of other things, and it's a very good canvas to dress up, if you will.